because of the atmosphere at Venus, some of the types of asteroid impacts or meteor impacts that Venus receives, there would actually be, because of Venus's very thick and, heavy and dense atmosphere that is so different from Earth, we actually wouldn't see evidence of many asteroids and meteors hitting its surface because the impacting body would actually just get kind of broken up more in the Venus atmosphere, as opposed to if that same sized body hit Earth. Because, we get hit every day with small amounts of rocks essentially thrown at us by space, but the majority of those, get burnt up in the atmosphere. The same thing happens at Venus, but larger bodies would actually get broken up in the atmosphere. One interesting thing.
Why is that, by the way?
Oh, just because of the nature of the atmosphere, just being so thick and heavy, the rocks just like burn up more in there.
Okay, I understand. Go ahead. You were saying one interesting thing as well.
And then also like they'll float down slower, I guess. So it's got to be a pretty appreciable sized rock to be able to actually reach the surface of Venus.
Yeah, I guess with the atmospheric drag, they would maybe heat up just like they would on Earth, but it's already so hot. So I wonder if they would get up to, well over 1,000 C.
Yeah, it might.
High with it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I wonder if it would cause, I don't know, interesting reactions or a meteor, but I know we're getting down a rabbit hole. Just curious about it. Do we see evidence of bombardment on the surface of Venus? Like the moon, it seems to be pretty easy, but Venus, maybe not.
Right. So exactly, you have like completely different case scenario with the moon where there is no atmosphere. So anything that comes within the moon's orbiting radius, it's going to hit the surface, and we're going to be able to see evidence of that. For Venus, for the most part, there is some evidence of bombardment, but there isn't as much as many other planetary bodies. And one of the reasons some people in the community think that is that Venus may have undergone some sort of like resurfacing event due to volcanoes, and it's relatively recent past. So we're still talking millions of years, but they predict that the surface is actually fairly young compared to many other bodies within the solar system. And so it may have like completely wiped away all the evidence of previous impacts, including during like the heavy bombardment phase.
Oh, wow. And what is the age of Venus supposed to be relative to the age of Earth and, the other planets in the solar system?
It's expected to be about the same, but, future tests will tell us about that. We haven't been able to actually take that measurement of the rocks yet.
I was going to joke and say in the control room when you guys land, you should play that song Venus by Shocking Blue. I'm Venus, I'm your fire. Okay, anyway.
I will make that recommendation.
Yeah, make it lively and exciting. You'll be excited.
Oh, we will definitely be excited.
So when is this going to occur? When will you, the probes first get, into orbit and then start collecting data?
Yep. So as I mentioned earlier, we are preparing for a launch in the 2030, 2031 timeframe. Depending on when we launch, depends on our exact orbital trajectory. So, but we are expecting to be able to drop the atmospheric probe within about a year or so after launch. In the meantime, we may be able to conduct some flyby phases of our mission, in which case we're going to be able to take measurements with our two instruments on board our spacecraft, one of which is called Visor and the other is Cubis. And what these do is take different IR and visible and even UV measurements of the surface as we fly by the planet. And they're going to tell us more about the surface when we're taking measurements within the IR range, some information about its composition, but also by measuring in the UV visible range, we're going to be able to learn more about the clouds of Venus. We're going to be able to take basically movies of the cloud motions. And one thing that we are, really hoping to take measurements on is what people in the Venus community call the unknown UV absorber, which is, as the name, indicates, it's an absorber that's within the atmosphere that absorbs up to about 50% of the incoming radiation to the planet. And so it clearly has this profound effect on the atmosphere of Venus, but we don't know what it is. So hopefully with Cubis specifically, we're going to be able to measure that.